when my husband first started managing, um, he would come home and my sister would come over. She was in early childhood education. I had a baby, and we would all chat about what we were doing. And we realized that we were using the exact same tools for 16-year-olds, for 4-year-olds, and for 2-year-olds. Um, and we thought that was kind of cool. So one of the things that happens with kids is they'll come to you and they'll say, "Hey, mom, can I have a cookie?" And I go, "No." And then they go to the other room, find the other adult, and go, "Hey, dad, can I have a cookie?" And dad goes, "Yeah, I think you can have a cookie." And then I'm hollering at dad, going, "Hey, he can't have a cookie. I just said no," right? So kids have this incredible ability to create chaos because they'll come up and it is their job to test limits. And that's actually the job of employees too. Come into an environment, and some people in particular, and a lot of times these are the best people. They'll come in and they'll push against a boundary. They'll be like, "Hey, is this the boundary? Is this the boundary? Is this the boundary?" And they're going to see what gives in the environment. And so we have this opportunity as a leadership team to establish consistent boundaries by communicating with each other. And that's what Slack reporting is. And that is why you get written up if you don't report key behaviors in your reports on Slack. And then we just write them down and we have a record. So we can go and say, okay, this person's having a hard time with smiling. So supervisor A says, "Hey, noticed so-and-so is not smiling." Cool. Next shift. And they say, "I didn't have an opportunity to address it. Maybe it was a busy shift." Cool. Next supervisor looks at that, goes, "Oh, cool." They say, "Hey, I heard that you're having a hard time smiling. We really want you here. We think you're doing an amazing job. You really hustle. But this is a non-negotiable part of the job description. So I really want you to focus on this." Okay. And then that person goes, "Oh, they're talking about me and this isn't okay." Right. And then on the next shift, the next supervisor can go, "Hey, I really saw you making an effort with smiling. You're about like 70% of the time smiling. We really want you to keep working on that. But I just want to acknowledge that you're making progress." And we're putting that, "Hey, I addressed it. This is what I saw. I saw them smiling about 75% of the time." And you're working together as a team to create a consistent experience for the employee so they know what the boundaries in the environment are. And I can't tell you how many times I come into the store and I get so excited because I get to compliment people on things that they've really been working on, or I get to address things that I'm like, I came in one day and I was like, "You're wearing sunglasses. Like, someone already addressed that with you." And I'm like, "You got to go home, bud." So I wasn't excited to send them home, but I had this amazing opportunity to have, I'm not second guessing myself going, "Oh my gosh, does this kid just literally not know?" I mean, because the first time they don't know that that's not okay. But I don't want to send someone home for just not knowing that something's not okay. And we also don't have like a 200-page rule book of all of the things that anyone could possibly imagine to do that's not professional. That would just be cumbersome and not helpful. So we really have to just use our instincts and our discernment and say, maybe it's not on, the single page list of things I have to report, but that's really not professional behavior. I wouldn't appreciate that if I was a customer. So I'm going to address it, or I'm going to report it. And then we collaborate together and say, is this something we allow in our environment? And we make a decision as a group and go forward from there with a united front. So then a kid comes into the room, says, "Mom, can I have a cookie?" You go, "No, you can't." They go to the next room and dad says, "No, you don't get a cookie. You gotta get your chores done first."